Hello guys, welcome to another video. I am so excited to be here and just film. I've also had a good streak of sunshine coming through, so I thought I'd take advantage and film in front of my window, feel the winter sun coming in. So for today's video, I have something in particular planned. I am actually going out to a work lunch and just gonna hang out, socialize with my coworkers. So that being said, the look today is definitely got to be work appropriate, nothing crazy bold, but then something a little bit more glammed up than the everyday makeup. I've also got a specific outfit planned for today that I am wearing and got this little professional vibe going on. So I've got like a little side bun. Let's get into makeup. I've picked a few things that are older products that I've loved and used around this time of the year, and then also incorporating a few new products that you may have already seen, and if you haven't seen, they will be coming up in future videos. So I have my moisturizer serum on. I use the Merit Great Skin one. I've been liking that. It's really lightweight for me, but also gives me good hydration at this time of the year. I have a whole video on it, but it's still something I've been using every day. For my primer, I'm really into the Guerlain Météorites base. It's got a really nice kind of, I want to say, illuminating type of base, but then also very hydrating. For foundation, I'm going to go into the AnastasiaBeverlyHills Luminous Foundation. This is a foundation I have loved ever since it came out. It was probably one of the more glowy foundations that was launched and worked for my oily skin at the time. And I still think it holds up, even though we've all been going through a very glowy foundation phase. This is just a really good one, personally for me. For concealer, I'm just going to use the MilkMakeup. I'm in the shade, I think 7NW. This is the concealer, and yeah, I've been on a kick where I've just been using this non-stop. I really like it, and there's not much more else to say about it other than that. I'm gonna go in with the EmCosmetics So Soft, I think, Play bronzer in Summer. I haven't used this in a very long time, so I thought I would whip it out and play with it again. I honestly don't know what it is about this bronzer that I don't end up reaching for it, because it's beautiful. You know what? I think I know what it is. It's the fact that I have to buy it from EmCosmetics directly, which means I need to pay import fees. And I remember when I did my first YouTube video, which was about this bronzer and then blushes from EmCosmetics, I had talked about how the import fees were like, if I recall, it was like $60 or $70, which was a lot. So I really don't want to use it and then have to repurchase it because I love it so much. But at this point, I feel like if I don't use it, I'm not going to get my money's worth, and then I'm just wasting it. So long story short, you're probably going to see more of it in upcoming videos, but it was very beautiful. The next one is a blush that I used in my classic Christmas haul video. I was talking about the Laura Mercier Tinted Moisturizer blushes. This one's a lot more pink. I think I swatched them side by side and then maybe I end up swirling them together, but I wanted to use the pink one for today because I think that's gonna work really nice with some of this like lilac and orange tones in my shirt. So we're gonna do that. I also think that'll play nicely with my hair. So this one I will work off the back of my hand. So I've got it right here. I'm going to take this Katie Jane Hughes number 3 brush and just kind of work it together. You can see that, and now it's on the tips here. Like I mentioned in that video, this blush takes a little bit of finagling to get it, well, to really understand how to use it, but I'm a huge fan of it. At first didn't like it, not gonna lie, and I think from what I've seen a few YouTubers talk about how they don't like this, and this is just my impressions, but the YouTubers that I've seen get this product are ones who get like PR every single day. They're getting everything new all the time, that if something doesn't perform, really easily the first time. They kind of just dismiss it and write it off. And I'm totally guilty of doing that. I don't get a lot of PR, but I do buy a lot myself. And pretty much everything in this video, I believe, yeah, everything I purchased myself. So because I'm spending my own money on it, I really need to make sure these things work or figure out how to make them work so I can let you know, because if you've spent your money or you've been gifted it, you may not have the opportunity to just, you know, set it aside and forget about it and buy something new. Instead, you really got to figure out how to use it. So for this one, what I like to do is pretty much apply it to the back of my hand. You can see it's left a stain, which if you just go straight onto the cheeks with it, you will get a stain of that first placement, which is why I like to use a dual fiber brush. You don't have to use this one. There's a really good affordable one at the drugstore that you can get from e.l.f. It's their small stippling brush. I use this for bronzer, but you could absolutely use this for blush. And then I just lightly place it onto my cheeks because it's a moisturizing blush. It's a little bit more wet and easy to spread, but then it does set in place, so it gives you some good hydration, but it also will sheer out. So if you're looking for something very pigmented, this isn't it, but I like to use this to layer up another blush on top, whether it be another cream or a powder. So it kind of just sets the layer and tone that I want to work with, and then I build from there. So that's my little rundown on that blush. Now I'm gonna go into the patrickta Major Blush Palette, Major Headlines Blush Palette Volume 2. Not a huge fan of it, but I'm going to take a little bit of this pinky shade and then a little bit of the one in the middle, very lightly going in, and then just trying to mimic that color that I placed but deepen it up. That was maybe an unnecessary step, but because I do have lots of makeup, I'm trying to use it. You could totally skip that, or you could skip the Laura Mercier blush and just do the patrickta one. At the end of the day, use whatever you have. Maybe try and use similar colors, but I'm probably going to say this in most of my tutorials. I feel like there's no need for you to go out and buy the products I'm using. Try and use what you already have. Okay, so at this point, I'm not gonna do a cream highlighter. I'm gonna skip that. I'm gonna go ahead and powder. I'm still in love with this Givenchy powder. Now, I know Makeup Forever is coming out with something similar. They've already come out with something in the States, but it's gonna be released in Canada, I think, in the spring. I'll be interested to see what their version is like, because I'm sure it's gonna be a lot more affordable than this one. But currently, this is my powder obsession love, and this is something I do feel like I would repurchase. It took a bit of convincing to buy it, but I did spend the money on it. Obviously, if you were to pick this up or interested in getting it, I would say wait for a sale. Okay, and then I'm just gonna take this little Fenty Beauty Pro Filt'r Soft Matte Powder Foundation in 145 and kind of just add a bit more coverage elsewhere. And I'm just gonna use a little fluffy brush like this. I don't like this one under the eyes because I think it's a little too heavy. Wanting to make my skin look a little bit more perfect today. For highlighter, I'm gonna use this Lancome Glow For It palette. This was a holiday palette that came out, years ago. I have sanitized this over the years and wiped down the layers. I like to use this as eyeshadows. You can see this is so well loved. I'm gonna use this shade right here, which is pinky, and then this shade right here, which is peachy, together, which are probably my favorite shades. But this palette is the highlight in it is so beautiful. I've been tempted so many times to declutter it because it was limited edition, but I love the way the highlight looks on my skin and I can't get rid of it. So like, use whatever highlighter you want. This one I'm keeping because I love it. For bronzer, I'm gonna use another one that you can't get anymore, and I'm sorry, but you use, again, whatever you have in your collection. This is the Becca Sunrise Waves bronzer. I was so sad when they closed their doors, but also stopped making this one because I, first of all, love the packaging. It kind of reminds me of like a little UFO. Not that I'm into space things, but I don't know. I feel like it's very unique. It might also remind you of like a tin garbage can lid. So maybe not so nice. But then what's really nice is you've got like a little highlighter on the side and then different gradients of bronzer. And I mean, it's so fine that when you blend it all together, you don't get streakiness, but I get a really nice color that I can kind of customize based on how tanned I am. So if I want to focus more with my brush on this side, if I'm lighter, or more darker, I can go on this side. You have a little bit of flexibility. I just kind of can't wait for brands to come back out with powders. I feel like it's been a while. Everyone's on the cream train. I'm gonna make a prediction. I could totally be wrong, but I think 2023 will be the rise of powders again. There's not as many tutorials for these products, so maybe you're been more inclined to buy creams because that's what's been out there. But I just think that powders need to have a comeback. We need some updated ones because some of our favorites, the Marc Jacobs bronzer, Becca one, I love the Ciate one, and I don't know if you can only get that off the Ciate website, but that used to be on Sephora. It's not there anymore. So a lot of my favorite bronzers just aren't out there anymore. Powder blush, we are moving through this. I'm gonna reach into another holiday exclusive product that you cannot get anymore, but there is a version of this out there. This is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Edit Volume number 4. Now this is a bold statement from me, but probably my favorite Hourglass holiday launch. I don't even know what it is about it. I really love this kind of like corally shade, and then I really like this purpley shade, which works so well for the winter, and then this one works really well for the summer, and then the bronzer is a little bit on the medium side, so it works for my skin. This one I've gotten the most use out of. I'm going to use this shade right here, Q Librarian Vanessa. That one is Strobe Blush in Euphoric Fusion, which maybe you can purchase. I know they do have a Euphoric one, so typically they have a new color blush, one that's not part of their everyday lineup, and then they've got one that is, but this combination, like I said, is my favorite. So I'm gonna go in with just a flat kind of tapered blush. This one's my favorite brush for blush. That's like a tongue twister. Pick it up here just softly. What's also really nice about these powders is they're so lightweight and easy to use that it's very hard to go with overkill, even though these colors might look insanely bold. So that's just gonna tie the colors underneath together and set them in place. Wow, I feel like I've been here for a while, but the video's been going pretty quick. I just had a coffee, so that could be why. Maybe I should film after having coffee more often, although I'm getting thirsty and I don't have any water. Let's move to eyes. This part, for some reason, always takes me forever. I'm going to prime my eyelids using the Urban Decay Primer Potion. Let's do eyebrows really quick, super easy. All I've been doing is my PYT Beauty Brow Goals taupe pencil and then mixing it with the AnastasiaBeverlyHills Brow Powder Duo in the shade Auburn. For this eye look, I'm going to try and make it a little bit more lifted. I'm going to try and do that fox eye where like it's a very clean kind of eyelid, nothing crazy intense. Everything looks like it belongs together, but then your tail is kind of lifted upwards instead of down. I'll show you. We'll scooch a little closer for this. So filling in this part, and then when we get to the tail, that's where this matters. Now I'm bringing my brows up. Now this works well if you have short eyebrows like me. If you have longer ones, you're gonna have to follow the tail out a little bit and do what works for you. But because my eyebrows end a little bit shy of where my eye actually ends, I can kind of get away with faking it. Alternatively, you can go and shave that part of your brow off, but I don't really recommend it. So here, I'm working on bringing it out and trying to flatten it instead of curving it down. You see, I could bring my arch like this, or we can lift it. The eyebrows have a point right here where they look very symmetrical, like I mirrored them, but just a thinner version of that. So just imagine drawing a line at the highest point and then mirroring the shape. Then I'm taking it out. So now what that does is open up my eye and give me a lot more room to place eyeshadow. And because my eyes are tiny, I need as much space as I can get. But also it's just gonna give me more white space to make it look a little bit more cleaner and bright and lifted. And then we're gonna wanna use a brow gel to keep the brow hairs in place so these bottom ones don't drop and make it look really funny. I'm gonna go in with the brow duo here and just pick up this lighter warm shade and use that to match the color of my hair. You can see that definitely changed the shape of my face. It's the eyebrows, I feel like, are the part of the most expressive parts of our faces, so I like to spend a little extra time there just to give them the attention they need. Then use the brow gel after I go on with eyeshadow, because the eyeshadow powder can go and cling to the gel if it hasn't completely set, and then your eyebrows are gonna look like they grew fuzzies, which I don't want. I'm gonna use the Makeup by Mario palette first. And honestly, this is a great work appropriate palette. I think it's got everything you would need. I'm gonna use this peachy shade here, and then just kind of this like flat, tapered, fluffy brush. I'm gonna set my lid with this. Now this is a look I absolutely will not be wearing false lashes with. Personally, for the industry I work in, that's a little extra. We're keeping it very neutral. I'm gonna go into this shade right here, same brush. I will reiterate this, and I've said it in a lot of videos. I am the kind of gal who likes to use as few brushes as possible, especially when a look is so simple. Like, I just don't think it's necessary. Some people might say, and I mean this might just actually be a fact, that the colors you're placing might look a little different because you're using whatever color you had before, so you might be making your own kind of colors, but I honestly don't think that matters that much at the end of the day. Okay, keeping this very clean, kind of like lightly, barely there makeup. I'm gonna keep the lower lash line clean and polished. We're not gonna put anything there, which means I'm gonna kind of keep my eye look very short. And I'm also not gonna go in with too many deeper tones on the lid. I'm gonna flip this around and use the clean backside and go into this shade right here. Not the deepest one, but I would say the second or third deepest. Second deepest matte, and then kind of just place it right here. I don't want to go too smoky because this is a work lunch, not like a work dinner. So it's daytime, it's got to be daytime appropriate. I might just use that one shade from Huda Beauty, only because I'm really curious what it looks like. I'm gonna put it on the back of my hand first and do a little comparison. Okay, I think the eyes look pretty even. I really like this look. So far we just used one brush. Just gonna try this shade in the Rose Quartz palette. This like demi shimmer. It's got two different tones to it. So we're gonna swirl them together. It's a little like rose gold kind of coppery, which I think might match this the nicest. So yeah, let's do that. This is the shade Quartz that I'm going to use right here. And because it's kind of satiny, it literally does not have much of a glitter shine to it, which is great because the Mario palette, all of them except for that deep brown have pretty big glitter chunks in it. And because this is, again, a work lunch, something that's just got a slight sheen to it is probably the best choice. So I'm happy that's what I went with. Alternatively, you could just go in with a matte from the palette and not have any shimmer, but there's something about me, and if there is an opportunity to use a little bit of something that's gonna shine, I'm gonna use it. It's just I have a really hard time staying away from shiny things. So the last thing we have left is the lips. Now, oh, I need to do mascara. Okay, look at the difference from this lash to this one. This one has the Tower 28 Make Waves, and then I've also layered on top the L'Oreal Lash Paradise, both in black. And I just feel like this looks so lifted, so pretty. When I'm looking straight on, I just feel like the difference is so noticeable. So I wanted to quickly show you that. I really like how this look is coming together. I probably say this in every video, but I've recently been on a really good makeup kick where everything's coming together so well. I feel like that happens when I'm feeling very inspired and excited, whereas sometimes I'll do a makeup look and it's just like nothing turns out. But yeah, I'm on my game today. I have to say, maybe if you disagree, you can leave a comment down below. For lipstick, so I'm actually going to use this Guerlain Kiss Kiss Tender Matte in 258 Lovely Nude. Now this one's a little bit more cool tone, so what I'm going to do is use a peachy lip liner. Okay, the one I'm going to use is the AnastasiaBeverlyHills lip liner in Peach Amber. This is going to go really well with the ensemble, and I've been really into their pencil. I want to get more of them. I like the length. I like the shape. It's got that like squareness to it, so when you put it down on your counter, it doesn't roll around. It's an old-fashioned pencil, so you've got to sharpen it yourself, but I'm really, really into it. Well, I could just wear this and be good. Oh, this color looks so good. I'm just gonna add the brow gel before I forget. This is the NYX Thick It, Stick It in the shade Brunette, which is a very affordable brow gel that I have been into. The only thing I'd say for my itty bitty brows, I wish the wand was a little bit smaller, but for the price, I really can't complain. We're just gonna go on top of that lip liner with the Guerlain shade Lovely Nude. It is really nice and creamy, so it's not very drying on the lips, even though it says it's a matte. And I think we'll end it here. I really like how everything turned out. I should, because I put it together. But yeah, I feel like this is a look that's truly me on the everyday. So it's perfect for work. It's definitely a little bit more polished and elevated, but very simple. Like, I don't think it looks like I tried too hard. Let me know if you like these types of videos where I kind of just put a look together for some kind of event that I'm going to. Thanks so much for hanging out with me, as always, and listening to me ramble. I had a lot of fun sitting here. I'm gonna dash off and go to this work lunch. So I hope you guys all have a great one wherever you are, and I hope you're enjoying the content. There is more to come this month, and I look forward to seeing you in my next one. Bye!